Whenever I look at this picture, nothing in particular stands out to me. However, Kelsey Anderson was asked to leave her class because of her outfit. Being in college, we may not receive as harsh of punishment for dress codes as younger people do, but learning about why this issue extends farther than what someone wears can help our society in the long run. Sexism in schools, if not discussed now, is something that will affect generations to come, including our children. For developing personalities, clothing can be used as a creative outlet for young people to express themselves. When students are shamed by peers and authority figures for being expressive with their clothing choices, it diminishes aspects of their developing personalities. School dress codes dull the personalities of teens, especially girls, due to their outdated and sexist rules. I've said this in previous speeches, but as someone who plans on being a teacher and who works currently with kids at an aftercare, I've seen firsthand how clothing items and the way that peers react to their clothes can affect a kid's personality while at school. I myself have also experienced sexist nature of school uniforms while in high school. I'm going to discuss the ways in which school dress codes are outdated and how our society will positively be affected by this change. It comes as no surprise to know that schools are known for their strict dress codes, but at what cost do schools enforce these dress codes on the expense of their students? Schools, systems, and administrations need to revise school dress code rules that were created decades ago. According to an article posted by The Atlantic in 2015, a student says that the dress codes make girls feel self-conscious, ashamed, and uncomfortable in their own bodies. Many administrators claim that dress codes specifically targeting girls, such as the rule that has the no bra strap or spaghetti strap showing, are in place to create a distraction-free environment for male students. The rules themselves, in my opinion, create more distractions because it teaches students that a mere strap is something to be distracted by, and they're allowed to be distracted by it because it's in their school's policy. It's important to understand the effects that dress codes can have on a girl, effects more than just the embarrassment for being called out in front of her other classmates. In an article published in 2018, Do Dress Codes Discriminate Against Girls? A common punishment for violation of dress codes involves missing class. Taking away valuable time for education in order to enforce a rule rooted in sexism enforces the idea that appearances can be more important than education. The road to equality is a long one, but starting at schools where children are taught some of life's most valuable lessons is a good place to start. The solution to sexism in schools is to reform the dress code rules that promote the narrative that a way a woman dresses prevents others around her from learning. Schools also need to listen and value their students' input regarding dress codes and inform their students on what the dress code rules are. In secondary school dress code compliance issues, analysis from the student's perspective, students found that their input was not valued in discussing school dress code rule. Most students aren't even aware of what dress code rules are in place at their school, and therefore students could be dress coded on something that's not even in their school's policy. Schools should reform their dress code rules by focusing more on clothing items that are offensive and on clothes that contain hateful language, such as hate speech, crude language, etc. They should focus less on the amount of skin that is being shown by a student, especially a woman. This is effective because it will teach future generations to focus on the message behind some clothing choices, such as a graphic shirt, instead of seeing skin as the main issue. This affects all of us because the idea that skin showing as an excuse is related to rape culture. We've heard this excuse over and over again. Well, did you see what she was wearing? When a woman comes forward about her sexual abuse. According to a Time article written in 2015, dress codes teach children that girls' bodies are dangerous, powerful, and sexualized, and that boys are biologically programmed to objectify and harass them. Reforming dress codes not only helps students while in lower schools, but it also affects them into higher years of education. If the dress code rules stay the same as they have for years, young people will still learn that women's bodies are okay to have an open discussion for as a means of distraction. Not changing school dress codes will perpetuate sexist ideals that younger generations will carry into the future, teaching next generations the same harmful ideas. The change for reform needs to start with us educating ourselves on the issue, and it needs to start now. It's important to look out for the well-being of younger generations and to teach them practices that promote inclusivity and equality. Reforming the dress codes can be done by educating yourself and others on this issue, discussing the issue with younger generations so that they can look out for it in their own schools and push for change in student council programs. And most importantly, teaching our children that worrying about a woman's body is simply none of our business, and especially at school. For girls, sexist school uniform rules should not be the reason that their education is compromised. The uniform issue is not just about what someone wears to school. It encompasses identity and self-expression.